What's up, guys? We are back at it with a lower body day. Today's objective was to first figure out where my strength is and then to build it. So the variation of the day is a 2 centimeter deficit deadlift holding with my right hand as the underhand grip, which made my grip fail, and my hamstrings and lower back are still too weak to deadlift 167.5 off a deficit. Now, I have gotten 170 off, completely flat ground, but that 2 centimeter deficit, it did me in. I couldn't quite lock the deadlift out fully, and that is something I've heard from various sources actually, that the grip can actually fail on a deficit deadlift, since you're moving the bar a longer total distance, you have a longer total rep, and you're simply putting out more output over time in some cases, and you may be less efficient with your movement. And this may be true because once when I was only able to deadlift 110 kilos, as I think I was 14, I could deadlift 110 kilos, and I actually could rack pull, above the knee, because that was popular. I tried it. I could rack pull 180 kilos with, a mixed grip, meaning I could mix grip 70 kilos more when it was just above the knee. Something to think about. You're not holding the weight as long, you're not moving for the same kind of range of motion. That may actually make a difference. Other than that, don't have super much to talk about this workout. I'm in here building strength, not demonstrating it. I'm training exercises that I'm bad at, that I'm weak at, and I'm going very hard with them. So squats, actually, I'm okay at squats, so a bit hypocritical of me, but we're working the squat and we're working the deadlift, and then I'm coming in and I'm shoring up all of my weak links, working on them extremely hard after this big, heavy base work, which is completely obligatory. Then we do the weak links. So in my case, we have the lower back, we have the hamstrings, and we have the glutes, and the calves, because I never fucking trained them, because I'm stupid. I listen to bad advice on that you shouldn't train your entire body, which is just wrong. Anyway, I do feel like the glutes are getting a lot of work between both the squats and the deadlifts and the good mornings. If you count all of those, they're getting 18 reps per week, and that isn't counting maxing out on a squat or a deadlift variation on both days. Meaning my glutes are getting 20 sets per week, which are in a high proximity to failure, so I would not want to isolate them. There is a general recommendation out there. Train between 10 to 20 sets, close to or to failure per week. With reps at least in close proximity to failure. There are completely differing opinions on if you actually need to train to failure or not. I'm on the fence. I don't know. I've done both. In my experience, training to failure leads to a lot of recovery problems, and you can't do as much volume, which is obvious because you're actually doing maximal work. However, there is an argument that maybe that provides more stimulus. But in my opinion, you're probably safest off not going quite to absolute failure all the time. Just my 2 cents. What more was I going to speak on? Probably nothing. That pretty much sums it up. Working a lot on the Nordic hamstring curls, working a lot on the good mornings, and working a lot on the calves. Every single time I'm in here, every single time I'm in the gym, I'm progressing all of those slightly. And it will add up soon. We're looking at, future deadlift PRs of 180 and beyond. But it will take me a few more weeks to get on top of this weak hamstring, weak lower back, weak glute situation. And I should probably stop saying weak glute. It's really the hamstrings that are the limiting factor. Because, I've always had issues with both my knees and my lower back, and a lot of people who have weak hamstrings, that's a symptom of weak hamstrings. A weak hamstring leads to instability of the knee joint and the lower back, which I've had problems with both historically, and coincidentally both are my weakness in the deadlift. except for today, where it was a grip issue. So guys, work on your fucking weak links. It sucks, it's boring, but it's the only way forward. If you only train your strong points, you may look good, you may be a good bodybuilder, but unless you're competing, that doesn't matter. If you get stronger and bigger quads, and it doesn't improve your squat or your deadlift, the quads are probably not a limiting factor. Something to think about. I'll see you guys tomorrow.